Well, good morning, world. How are you doing today? If you haven't already noticed, from my earlier post of my dog trying to take a poop and playing in the snow, this is what it looks like out this morning. And I was in shorts and a t-shirt yesterday, even though it was like in the mid-30s, but hey, still pretty awesome. I was watching this video earlier of a cop making a traffic stop, and it looked like it was in a rural area, country. I think I saw a field, and he's on the passenger side, the and he's asking the passenger to step out, and then all of a sudden, you see somebody grab out the window for him. He breaks free of that, starts moving sideways while still looking at the truck as the driver gets out of the truck with a gun, and he pulls his gun as he's moving backwards, and he shoots and hits the driver before he hits the ground, and he drops his gun right next to him. You can see he's still alive a little bit, and his truck rolls forward and very slowly and slams into another vehicle. And the guy on the passenger side gets out, is not worried about his buddy, he's worried about his own ass, runs into the closest house's yard, and the cop calls it in. Now, the thing about that, to make a shot like that, you either have to use your gun a lot in the service of protecting the public, which can never happen because you should never have to pull your gun on a traffic stop unless somebody is doing something wrong. Now, even if you were to do that on occasion, let's just say once or twice a year, which probably is the case anymore, you would still not be able to make that shot effectively and causing the least amount of damage, but also protecting yourself. And the way you're going to want to make that shot is center mass, because that's the biggest area. So you don't want to be a sniper or anything like that or think it's an amazing shot. It is a good shot. It's a very good shot. And kudos to the police officer. But that shows, just like in the military a lot of times, people don't understand this, but most of the time, especially in the Navy, not so much the Marine Corps, but even then, you only get to use your gun a couple times a year at the range. And the Seabees, which I was a part of, were the same way, because literally you only had to qualify once a year, and it was on a range, and it was in nice sandy shooting positions, and everything kind of was nice. And even with the pistol, it was only about 50 meters that you qualified on. And rightly so, that's what a pistol is for. It's for close combat. It's not meant for snipe shots from a long distance. There are guys out there who make really good long distance shots, but what I'm saying is, for that guy to make that shot and still stay so calm, because he had to do his own training. Because I don't know for sure, but most of the time in the police force, I think you learn how to use your pistol in the academy, and or have to train on your own. And the good thing about today is there's a lot of shooting ranges and stuff out there that do shoot and move. And whereas a static range course where everybody's lined up shooting together, is a good way to gain proficiency. You're never going to be able to make that shot effectively all the time without luck or training. And yeah, and all we want to do is defund the police and say how bad they are, but that could have been a lot worse than it was. And it was just for what seemed to me a routine traffic stop, because he didn't show up with his hand on his pistol. He didn't come to the window like that. And yeah, one of the comments in the thing below is he didn't. You ever heard of spray and pray? He what we like to call in the military is aim and claim. So claim the shot that you aim at, and that's the only true way you can do it, because just shooting in hopes that you might hit something might scare off somebody, but it also most definitely will probably hit something that you don't want to. And if you don't hit what you're aiming at, what's the point of really firing? Because that still allows them the point to fire again at you if they miss you once. And in a residential area or a city, that doesn't make any sense. So even if your academy doesn't, or your police force doesn't allow you to train a lot with a pistol, and believe me, shooting a pistol without all that body armor that they wear now, which I'm not 100% sure it's worth it, because that's a lot of extra wear and tear and stuff on something that should not be a war zone. So there are much better protective things out there, and you can't protect everybody, just like we saw in Iraq and Afghanistan with all the body armor and all the Kevlar and the Nomex suits and stuff like that. It's just so damn, it destroys your body, your joints and all this. You're carrying around so much extra weight that you don't need to have, because in the end somebody could get a lucky shot off and hit you somewhere there's no body armor. And I'd rather have the ability to be able to move faster with less body armor and less crap on my belt. Like, what do cops believe they're Superman, like Batman anymore? I mean, it's insane to me. Anyways, this is just me thinking about it rationally, being a man that has spent a lot of time in war and a man that has spent a lot of time shooting. And even after all that training that you do to prepare to go to war, when you go to war, what we used to do is always, and that's why we kept it there in Kuwait. We kept a layover spot in Kuwait for at least a week where we could acclimate ourselves. And this is whether we were going to Iraq or whether we were going to Afghanistan. We kept a place where we could train out in the middle of the desert, so we could acclimate ourselves to the climate, and then also get a little bit of extra shoot time. And I'm talking a lot of rounds. And unfortunately, that cost a lot more money, because we didn't use our own people to have these training things. We used ex-Army guys and Halliburton dudes to train us at a high cost to the military, when we already have military that know how to do all this stuff. So it's another way you can see how we waste so much money, or we don't put money in the right places. And unfortunately, a lot of people, both good and bad, have to die unnecessarily because of lack of training and lack of intelligent thought on how to spend all this money. But if it's at a cost to the military, which if it's military or federal government, that means, hey, just like me, I pay taxes. I paid taxes during the war. And even during tax-free zones, I still paid taxes. Just not all of them. And rightly so for the most part, because I wasn't living in the States. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy how it all flows together, but also, I just want to say one more thing. And there was another comment in there. It's like, as he says, he didn't know that his life wasn't going to be reset after that. And that's another big problem the kids don't understand, that video games and all that stuff and movies, those aren't real. There is no start over. So if you're going to play with guns, whether you're somebody like me who is highly trained, but even I know that right now I haven't really shot a gun in a very long time. I'm still really easy for me to pick it back up, but you have to retrain it. There's a muscle memory, especially if you've shot as many times as I have, both war and in training. And I like to tell my son this all the time. Everything you do in life is school, is learning. Everything you do in life. And you got to look at that sometimes. Video games and movies aren't real. So we're not Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. So there are people out there like that, but not a lot of them that are on police force, especially anymore, because most of the veterans that left war are now on the streets. So, and they don't have guns either, but they do know how to take care of themselves. That's why they end up staying there so long. But may God bless us all. One love, one race under him. And that's the human race. For all you racists out there, our lives matter. Jesus' life mattered. Have a good day. Talk to you later.